Have you ever stopped, on an ordinary day, maybe while you're standing in line at the supermarket, or stuck in traffic, or sitting on your armchair at home, to look around? I mean, really look around. And have you ever asked yourself, with a mixture of disbelief and annoyance, what the hell am I doing with my life? What am I investing my time, my energy, my emotions in? If you are over 60, this question is not only legitimate, it is fundamental. It is a wake-up call, a reminder of reality. Because, you see, there is one thing that no one tells you when you are young, caught up in the frenzy of building, conquering, achieving. Time is a finite resource, and at a certain point, inevitably, you begin to deal with what you have left. And I assure you that, once you pass a certain threshold, there are things, habits, mental patterns, even relationships, that completely lose their meaning. They become ballast, useless weights that prevent you from flying lightly toward the last, wonderful chapter of your existence. I don't want to be a guru, a holy man, a custodian of absolute truth. I don't have magic recipes, I don't sell easy solutions. What I want to do is share with you my experience, my perspective, my disenchanted but hopeful look at this phase of life. I want to talk to you about those uncomfortable truths, those realities that we often try to ignore, to hide under the carpet, but which are essential to live the years that remain to us with authenticity, with fullness, with joy. And I won't mince words, I won't sugarcoat it. Because at this age, there's no more time for hypocrisy, for social conventions, for the masks we've worn to please others. It's time to be real, to be authentic, to be ourselves, finally. So, get ready. Because I'm about to reveal 10 things that, once you're over 60, are a colossal, unforgivable waste of time, energy, and serenity. And, believe me, if you have the patience and courage to listen to me to the end, I'll reveal a secret to you, a keystone that can radically transform your way of living, opening you up to a dimension of freedom and fulfillment that perhaps you've never even imagined. Let's begin. And let's begin with one of the most insidious, widespread, and devastating traps we can fall into, the absurd, ridiculous pretense of living to please others. Imagine that you have spent decades building your home, not just as a physical refuge, but as an extension of your identity. You have furnished it with care, choosing every piece of furniture, every object, every color, with the obsession of creating a perfect, impeccable environment, worthy of being admired. You've spent hours cleaning, polishing, arranging, turning your home into a showcase, a stage on which to play out your life. But for whom? For which spectators? For the relatives who come to visit once a year? For the friends who visit rarely? For the neighbors who barely say hello? And when they finally arrive, these long-awaited guests, what happens? Do they notice all your efforts, all your dedication, all your care? Do they appreciate the perfection of the furnishings, the impeccable cleanliness, the harmony of the rooms? No. Their gaze inevitably falls on the out-of-place detail, the stain on the carpet, the crack in the wall, the old piece of furniture that clashes with the rest. And you, after all that effort, feel empty, frustrated, misunderstood. But the house, after all, is just a metaphor. How many times, in your life, have you done the same thing to yourself? How many times have you sacrificed your desires, your passions, your dreams, on the altar of other people's satisfaction? How many times have you worn a mask, played a role, said yes when you wanted to say no, just for fear of being judged, of being rejected, of being excluded? I am not talking about those gestures of affection, generosity, altruism that come from the heart, that we do for love, for friendship, for solidarity. I am talking about something else, a perverse mechanism that leads us to renounce ourselves, to betray our true nature, to live a life that does not belong to us, just to please others, to obtain their approval, to feel accepted. It's like having a wonderful garden, full of colorful flowers, lush plants, inebriating scents, and instead of enjoying it, admiring it, living it, you only worry about what passers-by will think, how they will judge your work, what they will say if they see a weed or a dry leaf. Do you understand the absurdity? Let's be honest, no one really cares about how you keep your house or how you dress or what job you do. Everyone is too busy with their own problems, their own worries, their own insecurities, to spend more than a few seconds judging you. And even if they did, what does it matter? Their opinion doesn't define you, doesn't determine you, doesn't change you. You are who you are, with your strengths and weaknesses, with your lights and shadows. And you don't have to ask anyone's permission to be yourself. Stop seeking approval from others. Stop begging for attention. If someone appreciates you, they will be there for you. If they don't, it's not your problem. It's not a competition, you don't have to prove anything to anyone. Time is precious, especially at a certain age. Don't waste it with those who don't deserve it. Don't settle for a half-life, for conditional happiness, for begged love. You deserve more, much more. You deserve to be loved for who you are, not for who others would like you to be. And then there is the mad rush to perfection. A chimera, a mirage, an illusion that has haunted us since we were children. We have been taught that we must be the best, the most talented, the most beautiful, the most intelligent, the richest, the most everything. That we must excel in every field, that we cannot afford to make mistakes, that we must always achieve the maximum result. But this is a lie, a colossal lie that poisons our existence. Think about your garden, the one you tended so obsessively. One day, a storm, a strong wind, a hailstorm, and in a few minutes all your work is destroyed. Nature, with its unstoppable force, reminds you that perfection does not exist, that imperfection is the rule, not the exception. And that beauty, true beauty, lies precisely in this imperfection, in this uniqueness, in this fragility. So why do you keep chasing an unattainable ideal? Why do you persist in wanting to control every aspect of your life, in wanting to eliminate every mistake, every defect, every imperfection? Why don't you simply accept that life is made up of ups and downs, successes and failures, joys and sorrows? Perfection is a golden cage, a glittering prison that keeps you from living fully, from enjoying the journey, from appreciating the little things. It forces you to always be tense, always on guard, always worried that you are not good enough. And in the end, you find yourself alone, tired, frustrated, with the feeling of having wasted your life chasing a ghost. Let go of this obsession, this absurd claim to be perfect. Accept your imperfections, your limits, your fragilities. These are what make you unique, special, unrepeatable. These are what allow you to grow, to learn, to evolve. Don't try to be someone else, don't envy the lives of others, don't compare yourself to unrealistic models. Be yourself, with pride, with dignity, with love. And then there is accumulation, that compulsive tendency to fill our homes, our lives, with useless objects. We buy things that we don't need, that we don't use, that don't give us joy. We accumulate them in closets, drawers, cellars, garages. We keep them for years, maybe decades, convinced that one day, who knows when, they might come in handy. But that day never comes. And those objects, instead of enriching us, impoverish us. They steal space, time, energy. They tie us to the past, prevent us from living in the present, project us into a hypothetical future that will never come true. Why do we do it? Maybe to fill an inner void, to compensate for a lack, to feel more secure, more complete. Maybe to prove something to ourselves or to others, to affirm our social status, to feel accepted, admired, envied. But it is an illusion, a deception. Objects cannot give us happiness, they cannot fill our existential void, they cannot replace love, friendship, sharing. Do an experiment, open a closet, a drawer, a box, at random. Look at the objects inside. How many of these have you not used for months, years? How many of these do you not really need? How many of these could you throw away, give away, sell, without any regrets? Be honest with yourself. Clean up, free up space, lighten your load. Not just physically, but mentally, emotionally. Get rid of everything that no longer serves you, everything that weighs you down, everything that prevents you from breathing. You will discover a feeling of freedom, of lightness, of well-being, that you have not felt for a long time. And what about resentment? That dark, corrosive feeling that poisons our soul. We cultivate it, we feed it, we guard it jealously, as if it were a precious treasure. We tell ourselves that we are right, that we have been offended, betrayed, hurt. That the other is bad, unjust, guilty. That he does not deserve our forgiveness, our understanding, our compassion. But what is all this for? Who benefits from this resentment, this anger, this desire for revenge? Us? Absolutely not. Resentment is like an acid that corrodes the container that contains it. It makes us feel bad, it intoxicates us, it prevents us from being happy. It ties us to the past, it prevents us from moving forward, from looking to the future with hope. And the other, the person who hurt us? He probably doesn't even remember us, the wrong he did to us. He probably went on with his life, without remorse, without guilt. And we, instead, remain there, still, locked, brooding over the past, feeding our pain, cultivating our anger. Let go of resentment, my friend. It is not a sign of weakness, but of strength. It is not a surrender, but a victory. It is not a forgiveness for the other, but a gift to yourself. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting, it does not mean justifying, it does not mean minimizing. It simply means freeing yourself from an unnecessary weight, a burden that prevents you from walking, running, flying. And then there is the trap, perhaps the most insidious of all, of other people's expectations. Since we were children, we have been bombarded with messages, explicit or implicit, about how we should be, what we should do, how we should live. Our parents, our teachers, our friends, society as a whole, have imposed on us, more or less consciously, a model, an ideal, a prototype to conform to. And we, for fear of disappointing, of being rejected, of being judged, have tried in every way to fit into this model, to meet these expectations, to live up to these standards. We have given up on our dreams, we have stifled our passions, we have betrayed our true nature. We have worn a mask, we have played a role, we have lived a life that was not ours. But what is the point of all this? What is the point of living a life that doesn't belong to you, that doesn't reflect you, that doesn't make you happy? What is the point of trying to please others, if to do so you have to give up on yourself? Stop worrying about what others think, what others say, what others expect. Start worrying about what you think, what you say, what you expect from yourself. Be yourself, without fear, without shame, without compromise. Follow your heart, listen to your inner voice, make your dreams come true. And don't think that it's too late, that you're too old, that you can't change anymore. It's never too late to be happy, it's never too late to make your dreams come true, it's never too late to change your life. You still have a lot of time ahead of you, a lot of time to live, to love, to learn, to grow, to experiment. Don't waste this precious time trying to be someone you're not, to do something you don't want to do, to live a life that doesn't belong to you. Be yourself, always and in any case. And if someone doesn't like it, never mind. It's not your problem. Your problem is to be happy, to live your life to the fullest, to realize your potential. Toxic relationships are another crucial chapter. They are those relationships that, instead of enriching you, impoverish you. Instead of giving you energy, they take it away. Instead of making you grow, they make you wither. They are those relationships based on dependence, control, manipulation, jealousy, possession. They are those relationships in which you do not feel free to be yourself, in which you always have to be careful about what you say, what you do, how you behave. These are the relationships that make you feel constantly guilty, inadequate, wrong. That make you doubt yourself, your abilities, your value. That take away your joy in life, your self-confidence, your hope for the future. If you recognize yourself in this description, if you are living a toxic relationship, know that you are not alone. Many people, unfortunately, find themselves in this situation. But also know that you are not condemned to remain in this prison. You can get out, you can free yourself, you can breathe again. It takes courage, it takes strength, it takes determination. But it is worth it. Because your life is too precious to waste it in a relationship that makes you suffer. And then there is the very dangerous habit of living without breaks, without taking care of yourself. You wake up every morning with the same routine, like an automaton. You worry about everything and everyone: work, family, children, grandchildren, elderly parents, friends, neighbors, dog, cat, plants. But you forget about yourself. You forget to listen to your needs, to respect your rhythms, to cultivate your passions. You forget to rest, to relax, to have fun. You forget to live. You are like a car that always runs at top speed, without ever stopping to fill up, to check the oil, to change the tires. Sooner or later, inevitably, the engine burns out, the tires get flat, the car stops. And you are left stranded, alone, tired, frustrated. Don't wait until you reach the limit, until you collapse, until you get sick. Stop first. Take a break. Breathe. Listen to your body, your mind, your heart. What are they telling you? What do they need? What do they ask of you? Dedicate time to yourself every day. Even just half an hour, even just 10 minutes. Do something you like, something that relaxes you, something that amuses you. Read a book, listen to music, take a walk, meditate, paint, write, cook, dance, sing. Do what you want, but do it for yourself, not for others.